Welcome to episode 22 of the Factorio Space Age Big Marathon. We're working towards getting rid of all of this science. We are 63 hours into a run with a whole bunch of mod planets and a 60 times tech multiplier, which is why there's so much of the science. This is the struggle we signed up for. This is also the struggle you signed up for if you clicked on this video. You saw how many episodes we were into this. We have only gone to a couple of planets so far. We have gone to Gleba, which is kicking along, doing its nice things, spitting out its agricultural science, launching rockets. We went there first. It wasn't really the plan, but that's kind of how we ended up. We wanted to go to Rubia, but we had to go through Gleba. Rubia is a nice little junk planet that, yeah, we've now got some turrets out of ammo, but I think it's fine because we do have sufficient turret coverage elsewhere. But I also noticed there are, somewhere in here, there are a couple of turrets that still aren't actually upgraded. Yeah, these guys are not fully upgraded. Getting more sniper turrets launched would also be cool. There's a couple of things here that, yeah, like the way having stack inserters here would be real nice. And then there's some curiosities about how much fuel these amazing trains get and the slow rate at which we are making fuel that make... Yeah, maybe we go back to Rubia. There's other stuff we want to build, otherwise it's just ticking over. And, oh yeah, there was a thing in here that I noticed as well, wasn't there? Something about the way that we put down these rocket silos meant that this silo in particular hasn't connected to these storage chests, whereas all these other storage chests we can see there's science. We're making science on other planets. We've got another science buffer over here. These trains would also be fantastic to export back to Novus. That's the thing we're going to get around to much later. Yeah, because they do a lot of things. On Novus, we are going to get rid of these labs, but not yet, because there's still a bunch of tech that we can do with them. We are working on getting the Biolabs running. Where are they? Over here. We have nearly built all of the Biolabs. We need some more roboports at the back for this coverage, and then we need to get the rest of the trains in here. I am worried about whether or not we end up bottlenecked through these inserters in particular, going from sort of the material collection lab into the... Yeah, we're going to have to go underground here or something like this, aren't we? Let's actually do this with regular belt. Yeah, whether or not yeah, the efficiency modules are kind of placeholders. We want to be upgrading this from red belt to blue belt to stacked blue belt, but only boosting the labs with the upgrade planner, because that's going to be easier, with qualities and better beacons and things like this. So we're eventually going to be replacing those beacons. Yeah, other reasons we want to swap out the other labs, the Biolabs actually have processing for storage, the others don't. And then I think we're going to have in here somewhere some other train stations over here to get the other bits of science in. We do have, yeah, we spent quite a lot of time setting up these new large trains that, yeah, if we connect this thing in... What are you doing, UPS? Why are you so silly? Yeah, we've got these new large trains with a lot of material. Now we've connected up these other train stops. We're probably going to need more trains of the red ships, so let's just assign this to one of the trains we've got down here. Go and get some red ships. You've got a nice little refueling interrupt, and also probably more green ships on this train here. Go and get some more green ships, and then this little train in here is purely for us to be able to add more trains from the mall. That is the entire purpose of this. So we can have some more trains, probably moving science around the place, probably, and then also a rocket fuel. Oh yeah, I realized, I think in the way that we had copied this remoduling, that we'd accidentally flipped these rocket fuels so that the other rocket fuel wasn't working. These guys are flipped and working again. It's fine. We've also got, yeah, these large trains down here, and to demonstrate how silly the rail network is, even though it should allegedly be functional, yeah, we've got a refueling station for triple-headed 12 wagon long trains, because that was a nice number. We're going to go full cargo to empty cargo, and yeah, watch where this train goes, I guess, if we can click on the thing. Nope, that clicked on the thing. Anyway, yeah, we're going all the way around here. This is kind of not particularly good double-sided rail where these large trains are going to have to share with everything else. They slide through where the mall supply is, which is pretty cool, and then they wander all the way up here to where we have added only one of these lines and only in one direction. Did we actually put a signal over here? We did, good. Yeah, and we're also, this is also the extent of where we are secure at this point as well, and it looks like we might need some more landmines over here so we can take care of that. And they wander all the way over here, over this little land bridge of which we have poked over the water with a bunch of Roboport support, into, yeah, this, so this section on the right is strictly one way as they come over the harbour. Is that a harbour? Yeah, it is. As they come over this harbour, cool, great. They're going to slide, yeah, some of them, this section is one way, and some of them will turn into the stacker that we've got for the copper station that is now no longer having the train because it filled up and went to the other station, oh well. And then, yeah, this section here is, this section in through here starts to be two-way because we can accept trains either into this copper stacker from this other route down here, which is a kind of decent spine, or also allow other trains coming over the harbour around all the way into the iron station, which is how these other trains are getting their iron working again. And all of that should end up down here, and we should probably, if things are going well, be making red science, and maybe even be putting red science in Biolabs, so we just need to do that with a bunch of other stuff as well, and also be making some more trains going and getting the copper. Click on the thing, click on this guy, click on the thing, and then let's also have the mall continue to put trains there. And yeah, these guys are waiting for someone else to do. Oh yeah, there's another train over here. Oh well. Yeah, so these guys are single-headed trains, which are a little bit larger than we have signaled most of our network for. And then these guys are the double-headed trains that we're using in a lot of places. Okay, we're going to do more of these as well because I think we want at least one more each of iron and copper, but I don't know. And yeah, this nice little rocket fuel line also means that we are having a stash of rocket fuel that initially fuels all of these guys. Oh yeah, that was the weird thing about Rubia, wasn't it? Yeah, this, I wanted to check whether, have you actually got enough fuel for a while? You've still only got 16 fuel, you've got 20 fuel. Would I prefer that? No, we've actually got enough of these wind turbines for a moment. We are not processing the locomotives, which is fine. Okay. So all of that is doing a thing, and then, oh yeah, that was the other reason why we were looking at rocket fuel, because over here, one of the few things we brought back from Ruby immediately has been these sniper turrets, and so we've counted out some of the stuff, yeah. Frederick, and then this is the same load that we are sending to Zebrashoot, and then we've got not a whole lot of stuff, but if we look at, say, yeah, this is the ship of which we are kind of making copies. There's a lot of stuff in here that, yeah, I think these, okay, I guess we should go and look at one of the ships that we've done. I think, yeah, we've kind of built the skeleton, we built the storage, we can send all of this stuff up. All of the generic mall stuff, we're not going to bother about counting carefully, but there are a couple of things like, yeah, the beacons in here, of which there are not many, the assemblers, the crushers, the thrusters. I think walls and also grabbers are things that we're not going to bother counting, but also sniper, oh, also, yeah, quality gun turrets. I don't even know if we have enough of those at the moment. Do you have any leftover quality gun turrets? Although, to be honest, we kind of don't need leftover quality gun turrets at the moment because the sniper turrets we've got on the front of this ship. Yeah, look at this rock here, and look at when it explodes relative to where the front of our ship is. Yeah, so these sniper turrets are picking the big rocks off from a long way away, and then we only need a couple of gun turrets at the front to pick off the medium, yeah, to pick off the small rocks. Probably we could have rebuilt this ship design. Yeah, we've got all the stuff we need. Probably we could redesign the ship considering the number of turrets we have, and also manufacturing explosives, because oh, actually, no, we can't. we are getting through the Gleben tech, which will allow us to defend Gleba by making rockets in space with some adjustment of this thing. Oh, there's a spitter somewhere, isn't there? Oh, well, never mind. But yeah, maybe a little bit of redesign. Maybe we just spin up more of these things, because the plan connecting to the labs and the upgrade planet is we want to go to Fulgora. We want to go to this nice little loop of planets that will let us pick up a bunch of different kinds of science, with Gleben science last, with a large number of ships, so that the freshest Gleben science is always getting moved to Novice as quickly as possible, and also getting to Fulgora so we can do some quality upgrade things. Probably we should... oh yeah, I need to count out the rest of the things we want to stand up to get these other ships online. Also, I wanted to check in with, yeah, how many biolabs we have, and how many eggs we have, because we have, yeah, a bunch of eggs there, and then what's the situation with, yeah, we put back the little extraterritorial nightmare of, here's, yeah, we're still putting them... See, this pattern here, we are putting them on a train before we give them to the module upgrades, because we wanted them for... Biolab upgrades, but I don't think we want that anymore. Maybe. Because I think we also... Are we... Yeah, we are still just running with this. Yeah, we need to move these sciences around. Yeah, how are we doing with the number of eggs that are over here? 2 and many with 5 minutes. Okay, let's do a cheeky trick whereby we... Can we rearrange these guys and do some nasty stuff so that we rearrange these timers? Yeah, we can. So... Spoilage is kind of like hit points. It applies to the entire stack, and so you can do some silly fudging with how much of a stack you take, and end up with, yeah, sharing around different hit points per stacks of gun turrets, but also sharing around different spoilages per... 64 is a weird number. Yeah, different numbers of spoilages per... egg stack. So we are definitely going to want to turn this back into... Oh yeah, this is going to be the bioflux request, because we probably want to be running all of that. Air quotes, probably. Who knows? I mean, we don't have... Where? Here's the bioflux. Do I also, at this point, just want to go back out to the patch? And, yeah, this one also wanted to be... Spoilage. Maybe I should be on this train going back out to the patch, but also just no spoilage, thanks. And then this wants to go here, and then I think we... yeah, I think we can go back out to the patch. I think we're going to change these guys. That's not what we wanted. Come and do the thing. Okay, I think the train is about to leave now, isn't it? Nope, that's not what we wanted. Yeah, we're just going to head back out to the patch, and then this wagon, we cannot open from this view, but if we can get one of these middle wagons, I guess because it's moving, yeah. So I think I've also got logistic spots that I wanted to take out there. Yeah, this is old smelting that wants to kind of go. We've also got to... I think we're going to rebuild the blue science as well, but I think the yellow can stay. I think we might be moving the hub, which is also kind of why we're trying to move through this fairly large amount of Gleben science, even though it would be great to get it into the biolabs. Okay, how can we... I think we just... I don't think we worry about bringing eggs back until... Oh, also, you guys, with your... Actually, having fed that half stack, that has mucked around with all these timers a little more, in a way that's kind of funny, and is probably going to do what it needs to. Oh well. And then, oh yeah, you're on a timer, so it's fine, we can ignore that. I wanted to give you most of these bots. I am going to need a couple of personal bots, but it's fine. We need to turn all of these into biolabs. Did you bring some bioflux for us? I think you did. I think you're on your way to Novice. I think we even keep this request, and then I think we Yeah, because also the prioritizing the eggs back to the base like this is probably the good move while we were trying to make all the biolabs, but at this point we would rather just be making all the prod mods, probably, and then we're just going to take this train back. I don't think there was anything else over here that I... Yeah, you are going to need not much bioflux particularly soon. You're going to be fine. Oh, wait. We should have turned this thing into a request chest. That is definitely a thing we should have done while we were over there. Oh, well, never mind. We're going to get the rest of this bioflux setup done first. You would also like to be requesting, please. Let's have you get 400 bioflux from orbit. And then where is the bioflux going to end up? We're going to request some of it to these chests here. We're going to request 100 there. Oh, we didn't actually do the setup. Hilarious. This wants to be... And I think we're going to be changing this again when we get to Fulgora, because... Or at least when we get back from Fulgora, because we're going to be doing... Yeah, 200 there. Let's have this also be 200. That guy went. It's fine. I've got an assortment of... Actually, the bots can just take this stuff away, because we'll just request it back here anyway, and then we wanted to get down to where... Somewhere down here is this... Yeah, this other reason why we want to get rid of a large chunk of this, because all this is just a mess. Yeah, have a large number of... How many did we... Because these guys go in groups of 10, yeah? 44, 34... We would like to know that we have a multiple of 10 down here, so that we can make an even number of biolabs and not have any of the stuff left over. And we're already doing this with quality. Did we have... Where is... Oh, we already took the quality out of... Do I have the better quality mods? Whatever. We're nearly doing this with best quality. We're going to be quality juggling these later. It's going to be fine. As long as we get... yeah, rather than 20 bioflux, let's have you have 200 bioflux. Let's also have you vent the spoilage. This is still not... Yeah, last episode we got trapped with not really getting onto the Biolab setup that we wanted to, and we're kind of doing the same thing here. Okay, I've got 4 more eggs that I also don't particularly want. I think we're going to wander back out to the patch again if the train is here, and also put request chests in a different place. And then also are we going to need... We're going to need to take... If we power these guys... Oh, there's the... Okay. We're going to need these power poles for the rubber ports on the other side as well, aren't we? Because I was thinking about having 2 boxes here, one of which uses filters for spoilage, and then the other of which uses filters for eggs, which we are not going to be moving yet. But then also we only need this in the 2 central carriages, because that's where this bioflux thing is. Okay, can we get the train back here, please? And in this time, can we also get... yeah, so we've got 2 copper trains here. Let's get a third of... Okay, we've only got 1 of these trains built. Yeah, I mean, this is what we want to be happening. The mall is producing carriages and locomotives, and when we get around to enjoying those locomotives, bots put them in the correct place. And then these guys, do we want more? I think we went under the green chips one. Yeah, let's have another green chips train. We still have a big surplus of the amount of green chips we have versus using. Okay, great. This is still running, which is fine. We can take this back out to the patch. We're going to do a little request chest thing. Also, we should do something about the calamity that we experienced last time, where we just had far too much bioflux out here. And then also, I think we're going to do another request thing of, let's just here request spoilage, which is only going to come out of this network of, you know, maybe this bioflux spoils, maybe that only just reaches, hilarious, maybe the bioflux inside the spawner spoils, so bioflux, yeah, we now should be able to have, I think what we're going to do, I still think we want to, okay, yeah, we might make this a little bit worse. I think over here we want to go eggs, this one, but then still not actually tolerate any eggs, and allow us to get 2 sets of bioflux. Bioflux or spoilage is going to come out here, but then, oh, I don't have belt. These bots don't have belt. Probably we can, because what I wanted to do is, yeah, all of these undergrounds are a maximum extension. We can't really hide any of those either. Okay, I wanted to, maybe with my bots, maybe with some other bots, run this through. I guess we can move this whole patch of thing as well. Yeah, run this through the modules first, so that the modules get first stab of all of these eggs, and then the only other quirk is, can we do this in a way that, yeah, did I get any, do I have anything you guys want? I've got some prod mod 2s, whatever, cool. Yeah, then pull this out. We're gonna end up putting some eggs in these storage chests, I believe. We don't want to do that. Oh, I've got all these eggs. Give all these eggs over here, and then, yeah, get rid of this stuff. Move, and we're going to lose some heat from this tower, but we don't really care. It's kind of not the point. These guys want to run this way, and then through the chain over here. Yep, and then run down here, and we do have enough stuff for this, kind of, just. So then, if the trains want, why don't we have, oh, because we took these things out. Okay, it's fine. We can do this from this position here in a way that doesn't actually involve any more. Yeah, we're going to do this with fast inserters, although these guys are not grabbing because they've got no place they can put it, which is cool. And then we can put the heating tower back here. So I think we are fine. Those eggs can get in the heating towers. Yeah, so we've got a place that bioflux comes out. Any eggs that come past are going into the prod mods first, which are going back to the base. We could be loading eggs on the train as soon as we want to be putting eggs on the train. We do have logistics bots. We are requesting bioflux into, actually you can probably just be 20, because we really do not need a whole lot over here, and it's just going to spoil. And over here we can probably also pull this back to 1 stack. Yeah, and then it can just sit in the trains, and whatever, it can go off, we don't care. This is, yeah, I think this is going to be, sure, I think we now do actually need to worry about just making the Biolabs work, don't we? Because we've got, wait, have we actually averted that eggs crisis? Is a thing that we should check. Kind of, but not really. We just need a lot more bioflux here. You are bringing bioflux, but the thing is, we're also going to, yeah, so you just, on your way to Novice, you just drop all that bioflux. Because we do have a stable supply of bioflux from Novice. Do we also want one of the, do we want the other ship to bring bioflux as well? I think we probably do. So, yeah, that was just, it wasn't, it was just in a completely different group, wasn't it? Oh well. Bioflux. Yeah, just like 400 or whatever. Enable that group, have that run, that's going to be fine. Okay, how long are the timers on these eggs? We have another 39 minutes, roughly the same. So this is basically when we need to check in on whether or not this problem has been solved. And these guys are large limits. These guys are requesting a reasonable amount of bioflux. I think these ones, how many are we requesting? 200? Yeah, we only need 50 here. We are not going to need a lot of bioflux, and this will mean that the train system hogs slightly less, which is cool. Okay, let's get some other kinds of science in here, and should we do some brain math on whether or not these inserters are going to keep up? How many? So this drag here is going to give us a multiple of 3 inserters, 21. So we have 14 inserters going biolab to biolab here, and 7 pulling spoilage out. So if we go up to a if we go up to a stacked blue belt, that's roughly 20 sciences per second times 4 for the stacking. Slightly more than that because blue belt is like 22.5 rather than 20, but whatever, this is going to make the math easy. So do we have 14? So we have 14. We need to. Oh yeah, we knew about that. We have 14 inserters that are trying to move 80 packs per second, multiplied by however many packs we're using, which is often 8. Then into, yeah, because I'm thinking about, can we really afford to go stack to stack this deep? I think we probably can, because we're looking at 30 or, but also multiplying by 4. Let's not worry about it. Let's make other sciences work. So we are going to want other. Yeah, where can we fit all of this in? Because I would also like a blue belt thing as a thing to make blue belt. We're talking about upgrading to blue belt. We are currently not actually manufacturing the blue belt. This is going to go left, and then the same thing is going to happen here, so that we can use all of the iron, because we also would like, yeah, we're a little bit space constrained here, aren't we? Because this does not want to be the gears production. This wants to continue to be green science inputs, and I don't think we even... Wait, maybe we should just do... Oh yeah, if we want to do a stacked belt thing, then we are going to have to use one gap of inserters everywhere, aren't we? Yeah, so we've got... I think what we actually do is we run... I mean, this is allegedly the long-term build, but it does look a whole lot like we're turning it into a mess of a thing, which also is absolutely a thing we would do. Yeah, if we go here, then we've got space over here to eventually bring in the things we need for the green science with modules that we're going to upgrade in several cases. Don't worry about it, it's fine. Is the Cleveland assignment still going? It is. And then this guy can do the same thing here. With... Actually, let's flip this one to prioritize the science, I guess. So now we can have a belt of iron. But if we are trying to do all of this with stack inserters, we are actually going to need more beacons in here. We've got the green chips here, which we are going to need for... Oh wait, no, the thing that saves us here is we're only doing these things with half belts, aren't we? So we can... We're only ever going to need half a belt of green chips from this train. In fact, I think that means we can just get rid of everything on this side of the train. And red chips we are going to need both sides of the train, because the blue science is a 3 to... It's like a 2 to... No, it's a 3 to 2 or something, isn't it? Blue science. Okay, that was the wrong thing to be clicking on. Cool ghosts. Yeah, blue science is a 3 to 2. We are going to need a full belt of the red chips, which is fine. Okay, so gears coming down here. Also, I guess through here is there space? Yeah, I reckon in here at some point later we can figure out how to jam in a little blue belt build over here, although it does mean we need lubricant, and we did slap in this bit of petrochem to be giving us the things we needed for the sulfur. Is this going to be, I don't know if one... actually, I think we would need to check to know whether or not one pipe of water is going to be enough. Why can't I find chem plants? Chem plants here. Sulfur, what is your ratio of... It's actually the same water and... So if we were going to... Wonder if we needed 2 pumps... it's actually not going to be here, is it? It's going to be... Not even there. What are we doing? Very silly. Get these guys out of the way. Have a double pump here for the amount of gas we think we might need. This guy's also going to need to move forwards 2 squares so that this guy can move forward 1 square, and we can have a double pump for the amount of water we think we might need. Okay, bots can get on with doing all of that. Why are we... Really, we're still struggling to make the wagons we wanted. That's interesting. Module construction should just be continuing, although it's not continuing there, it's continuing over here and is fine. Okay. Yeah, we were thinking about building the rest of this blue and green sides, because we need... We actually need... Oh, these are the modules where we're building the thing. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, if we're just going to have a bunch of dudes doing belt here like this, you guys are not going to get the modules you want. Never mind. Okay, this guy, were you always in the way? You were kind of always in the way. Are we... That was actually kind of critical. Hilarious. You're going to get power from over there. I think we should also... Do we not have more rubber ports? Oh yeah, we have rubber ports over here. We would like to get power into the science build through the rubber port somehow. Okay. You guys are going to need actually this whole pattern here. We have also not thought about... actually, let's move all those guys down. Yeah, we've not actually thought about how many of these assemblers we need. Actually, we're not going to need nearly as many belt assemblers, are we? I was thinking about needing... Actually, not do that, it's silly. I was thinking about needing more output inserters than input inserters, because that's how belt works, except this is all kind of silly and we don't need that at all. Okay, so if we have some of these guys here, can we also have... no, the inserters I was going to do differently, weren't they? Wasn't I? So, is this going to... maybe we continue to boost this and then somewhere, and it might just be here. This is going to put these guys on the inside, which is what we want. If we wanted to do something like this, all these ratios are going to be off. Maybe we worry about that later. We probably don't, to be honest. Maybe we just beacon these things differently. These guys are going to want in and out inserters. Okay, let's do those in the same place so we can use the same power polling. He said, and then did not put them in the same place. Cool. Yep. Okay. So then if we filter this off, these guys are on the wrong side, and now they can sideload here, and this is going to be fine. So all we then need is we need, yeah, this belt. Where would it go? Here? Because the thing I'm thinking of is, what if we do the classic... I think this is... okay, we're going to pull this down one more tile so we can go underground from here to here, because that makes all of this nicer. There we go, science. Through here, underneath here as well. This is... This is fine, isn't it? I guess the thing we can do is we can just pull both of these back by a little bit. We weren't using that space. It's fine. Could we move... We could move this up. Would this help moving this up? I'm not actually sure. But if we moved this to, say, here, a large amount of this is the same. I actually like that this. We're going to go back to what it was. Yeah, through here, and then... I think we do shuffle it this way, though. Because I would rather be able to get these resources out like so for the blue science, and then these guys shuffle up and in here, and we have a mechanism for allegedly getting all the things that we need for the green science, and then we just need to think about the blue science. Are we going to do the blue science in... I think we should probably, if we're going to be doing this in the way that we clearly are indicating that we are, should do the blue science in a similar way to these guys, in that we're still going to have an input and output belt, although it's going to get spicier to fit all the... No, we don't need to do anything with the space, can we? We can just, like, roll this stuff in here. It's going to be fine. Okay, and then also here, then? One up, because we are going to want to split it, because I think we're going to want several lanes of this. So if this is the blue science, we are eventually going to want prod mod 3s in all of this. We currently only have one quality prod mod 3, but whatever. Blue science and all of these things. So this is going to be a belt that has... It kind of doesn't matter, does it? But I think if we can put the... I guess we are... Yep. Walls are destroyed. Sure, that's fine. We also haven't done the sulfur build yet, but I'm not super concerned about that. Yeah, I think we're going to have... The way we've positioned this... oh, we can have sulfur on this other belt, because that's the thing that is the most favorable on ratios of only ever having half a belt of stuff in here. Whereas, okay, so this is going to be the new blue science plan, he said, with not a huge degree of confidence yet. And then over here we're going to have some sulfur falling out. Don't worry about it, it's fine. We are then going to do... You need to move. We've got... But also this entire Roboport network goes around the other way. So we, at this point, don't actually need you or you, which is cool because we need the space. And then we're going to want... oh yeah, this was... splitters in here going to be a thing as well, I guess, eventually. Line these up the same way, have one of these guys here, have a very similar thing like so, but maybe we can't afford as much of it because of where we've put the stuff. Don't worry about it. And yeah, this is just going to be... You guys can be full extension to there, and which belt are you guys going to go on? I guess you're just going to go on this belt? Do we want to side load? I think we want to side load it onto this side, because that means we can push these dudes underground, and then we can just side load another lane of stuff like directly in here, which I think we like. Could we go underground here? Because I don't know what we're putting on this belt either. This also might just be a belt of train supply from the underground. In fact, that seems most likely. Or maybe we also move eventually yellow science over here or something. Who knows? Let's just go and plug the rest of this stuff in because, yeah, having the Biolabs process the... Who's complaining about storage? None of that. These guys are fine. Is it you complaining about storage? You should not be complaining about storage. Yeah, don't be doing that. That's silly. I mean, these guys are all going to spoil, and then it's going to go into the furnaces. We are not super concerned. Yeah, we being up. Oh, it's going to be. It's going to be one of the wall networks, isn't it? Because we. Unless the main storage is completely jammed, that would be a bit of a surprise. Where far out our main storage? 5 and 48, 6 out of 48. It's not the main storage. I don't know. Whatever. We're not going to worry about it. We're going to deal with that at some point later. And yeah, we figured out that there could be other train stations also jammed in here. Oh, that's right. There was another train station. Yeah, this section here is bi-directional, and then it splits into this direction you can get in or out, this direction you can only get into the train station, but there's parking there. And then I also was going to have, yeah, the large trains are escaping from the build over here, and strictly at the moment going north, but in a way that is not fully signaled, so let's do that differently. Jeez. And then also we wanted a way to get these trains south as well, which I think is going to look like, where do you join? You join there, and then you're also going to get you're going to get one here because that's where we can ghost it, and then this guy is going to need to, nope, not like that, end up somewhere over here. Yeah, that's what we want, isn't it? So the question is there enough space between this position, or really should be down here, or whatever? I think we should actually think about moving this back here. If we can connect this piece of rail to somewhere down here. Yeah, I was worried about the supports needing to go where these other belts are, but it's fine, because that means that we can have another signal, say, over here somewhere. Where my signals are. I guess we're going to signal it like here. So now we can get, these trains can get into either direction, and hopefully there's enough space for a train to just hang out over here while we figure out. Why don't you have power? Oh yeah, because we dropped the last things off the bottom. Okay, so this guy's going to need to go underground here, and we're also going to need a splitter here. We also don't need to worry about the side loading because we're not going to be putting that much sulfur into it, but then also we're just going to want to straight up another belt of things here. So these two belts are where we need to put the engines and red chips. And oh, we've miscalculated this. We've miscalculated this significantly, because we also need to get pipe out of the same 3 trains of iron. So maybe we don't actually have how much. It's 1 and 2 pipes, so we're actually going to need a lot of pipe, especially if we're thinking about getting a full belt of this stuff. Is that true? Maybe not, because we've got 40% productivity here and 40% productivity when we make the engines. So I think we can do a nasty little hack thing over here. And yeah, we're also not going to be buffering any of these kinds of science, because we want to be running this thing at full capacity all the time if we can. Why are we... Something is messed up with... Do we just not have enough materials? Yeah, we just don't have enough materials, because I think the wagons are getting built over here, only they're not, because we don't have enough iron sliding through, which is fine, but that's getting some. And then labs are still running. Have we run down all of the Gleben sites? We have only just got a delivery of Gleben sites or something. Biolabs, which are an important thing that we did not want to have these guys explode. We actually need... We need a lot more bioflux. You were getting bioflux? And then you also... Did you drop all of your bioflux the last time you were here? You did. Okay. So we just need... We just need a lot more... Oh, how much are you requesting? You're requesting 400? And then did we put a pile of it on the trains? We probably did. Oh, also we got out here and threw it on the belt into these guys, didn't we? Oh well, and we've got only 100 there, only 200. Yeah, okay, sure. Okay, we're going to insist that there is in fact time to think about how many pipes and gears we need for the purposes of blue science. And is there anything else we wanted over here? We did want train stations here, but actually that's not true. We wanted train stations up here. These, actually either place looks pretty good, but these cliffs are in the way and means that, yeah, I'm not super worried about having too many train stations. I'm not worried about these pipes blocking the train stations because these cliffs are already blocking the train stations. Okay, let's do a fun piece of speedrun tech that yeah, it can go like that. This should do a decent job of letting everyone get all their stuff out. And then where can we... I think it looks like the only line that's actually free is down here. Gross. Can we also then pull out some gears, or are we going to use more gears from this? Yeah, if we'd done this around the other way, because these guys are going to need less plate because we get 2 out per instance. Yeah, we get 2 belts out per recipe cycle, whereas these guys are only giving us 1 inserter per recipe cycle. Oh well. Get the pipes in here. Is it going to be... Should we just also build the engines in line with... Wait, why are we short on red belt? Shouldn't red belt have... Red inserters here. Where did we put the red undergrounds? Are the red undergrounds over by the blue science? Well, the blue chips, they are not. Yeah, I don't remember where we're making red undergrounds and why we suddenly don't have them. Yeah, red belt over there, red undergrounds over here. Oh, we've accidentally snapped this bit off the network. That is a good reason. Okay, easily solved. You're going to go over here. We're going to get another... Yeah, that is one of the things that it definitely could have been, couldn't it? Actually, we can do a better job by linking these things together like so. Whatever. Okay, so if we're going to do this kind of nonsense for blue science, actually, is this... These guys are 1 every 6 seconds, just as a basic recipe. These guys are 1 every 12 seconds, so we will need twice as much blue science. Can we also get... We can. Why did we have multiple stack inserters in here? This was largely unnecessary. So we're going to go and do all of that again, but we can get another one of these guys in here. And then we're just going to do, you know, this pattern again. Okay. So is that... That's nearly the same amount of blue as green science. Okay, so let's move all of this stuff also back. 3 more squares is here. Oh, these guys also. Of course they did. It's fine. Yeah, whatever. It is too early for any of that to be the eggs going off, which is really the only thing I'm particularly worried about. Yeah, and then, cool, let's put all of this back in the same way. Not that. that was... Yeah, that's going to confuse me less when we see what this stuff is doing. Okay, fine. So get this guy, put it here, get the inputs, and then we just need to worry about getting red chips and also sulfur and also engines. And we have restored the... we have restored the little roboport connection, which is nice. Okay, if we are going to have a pile of engines in here... Do we just do the engines in the same way? We would need... Yeah, I think we can just throw a bunch of engines just like straight up right here, which is going to be slightly off for the ratios, whatever, don't really care. And then these guys can put... These guys are not going to be beaconed as much. They're only going to get beaconed from one side, because on the other side we need to get 2 sets of inputs in. And engines are slow enough that this might work even while we are stack boosting, maybe? Anyway, these 2 guys going here, power, and this is our engines build. And we're going to have... stuff going in here, stuff going in here. Are these the 2? These are the only 2 inputs we will need, won't we? So we can actually... We can think about doing it this way and then also flipping it and putting it here and then having the next row of beacons lining up with the first row of beacons like so. Cool. This is how everyone likes their Factorio. Tiling and... monotonous. Oh, we could actually have more beacons through the middle here, couldn't we? Are these guys... I think we... Yeah, okay. So, changing my mind about that, we are in fact going to... Yeah, so the plan here is this one goes underground for this set of outputs, and then these guys dump on the other belt. And so now we have engines on either side of... Yeah, we now have engines on both sides of this thing, which means red chips need to be on the opposite side of these 2, which is also just here. That's... and then also the... Yeah, so we want to... These inputs want to disappear there and then reappear, and I think there are still... Especially when these are blue belts and stacked, there may be issues with... I think we're going to need to upgrade those inserters as well, but also I think the ones, like, doing this I don't think works so well, because these inserters, when the stuff is moving quickly, can struggle to take from the belts that are emerging from the undergrounds. However, this does mean we can get more beacons in here, which I don't think... we need, but that's what we're going to be doing. Grab all of these guys, slap them in here and here. So that's going to be all the engines we need, I claim. And then one of these belts is steel, and it looks like this one is steel. And then this guy needs to be sulfur. Could we actually... We could totally run... Could we? Could we run this belt in from this direction? Because that's kind of where the petrochem is. Yes, but not from there. We would have to go down 1, because the combination of Roboport and Beacon is slightly too wide. Getting asteroid productivity done is... not necessarily a thing I was expecting, but we're going to take it. And then, yeah, through here... this is where we're going to have... We're going to have a little bit of an adjustment here, sure. So that we can go... Splitter here. Gross... also, specifically not there. Yeah, so now this is going to be... Yeah, gross. Okay, sure, that's what we're doing. So now we just need to we need to put sulfur on this belt, and we probably also, and that's actually hilariously worked out kind of oddly well. We're just going to have this here. If we need, and it needs to be on the far side of the belt. It needs to be, actually let's just grab this thing and just smash it here and not even worry about it and find ourselves a sulfur line down here. I guess we can get, yeah, we can just grab all of the pipes from this as well and not even care about it. Is it this many? And does this all fit? And is it kind of gross? And what are we doing here? This all looks like it's mostly going to work. Even though we don't have particularly high quality prod mods in this, we should probably put some particularly high quality prod mods in this. Not especially high, you know, it's not really something we care about. And then we need to dodge those fluid things through the stations, which we haven't got yet, but we now have... okay, so the steel is only going in as half a belt? Yes, because we wanted gears to also get in there. Where are we? And then the inside... Okay, so all of this doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. Here is a spot where we can take the red chips. I mean, I was thinking about putting gears on... Have we left enough space? We have not quite left enough space for the way that steel works. Okay, we're going to change our mind about that again then. All of... Yeah, we needed this to get out of the way because the plan, the new plan, of which everything is still spaghetti, is you guys can have more beacons. Congratulations. You're also going to need to move back probably, and then we can have more of these guys. Is this too many gears? Quite possibly. Am I fine with that? Also, yes. Also, did you not get any output? You did not get an output. Neither of you guys got outputs. Wild. These guys are fine. These guys are double thing because they're kind of the last on the sequence, whatever. Okay. In that case, how are we getting more iron over here? And should we be using some of these gears? And I think the answer to that is going to be yes. If we go like so, then we're getting more gears in here, which is fine. If we also move... where are the pipes ended up over here? Okay, we're going to do this differently. We're going to do this... get rid of that. We're going to do this in a more sensible way. And then also move this back in a way that's not necessarily sensible, but does let us make this more sensible. Because if these guys also move back, then we can run the pipes underneath. Like so. Isn't that a plan? Let's check on the Biolabs and the eggs again, because I'm still not sure that we are moving these guys through in the rate that we need to. You are still a long way away with more bioflux. Yeah, I think we need to oh wait, do we have maybe we can just like have ourselves a little... Where is the section of base that I want to copy? This is a part of base that I want to copy, and I would like to put it in here. Thanks, bots. I wonder what that's for. Let's presume that that is taken care of. Yeah, all these guys and their modulings are going to be silly. So we've got engines coming out. We've got... all of this looks to be doing mostly what we wanted. Oh, we need to clean some of the steel off the top of this, but it's probably fine. And then, yeah, the red chips that we've got... We need to figure out how to get more iron through there. That is a known problem. But the red chips can slide up here and go... red splitter here. Some of it wants to be on the inside of this belt, and some of it wants to be on the inside of the other belt, and then we will have red chips and yeah, we will have all of those things we want heading into the, it's probably fine, heading into the engines that we want, or the engines and the red chips heading into the science, and then the only thing we actually don't have is the sulfur for the blue science, which also we wanted to combine with, actually, do I put train stations here or train stations here? This one is removing fewer trees, so I think we're going to go for that. I mean, we could also be integrating these train stations as well, other than the fact that these power poles are in the way a little bit. But I also haven't really decided what we're putting on these train stations. We could really have any... Oh, wait. This much of this, because we want to be doing this stacker thing. Yeah, if we just moved these power poles a bit, I don't think that breaks anything. But it would mean that we would have... really? Did we... Yeah, I guess we weren't really thinking about that, were we? You can go under here. You can also go under here in a way that's pretty cute. And then we can have more rubber port coverage through here. Gross, don't worry about it. Okay, yeah, there are more train stations we could put in here if we really wanted to, if we can figure out what we want to pull off these trains. But yeah, I wanted to think about grabbing... And it's going to be this pattern, isn't it? It's going to be the pattern that has things being pulled out of both sides of the train, because we're going to have multiple kinds of science coming off each train. We're going to need it to step back a bit as well, because we're going to need to bring all these in somewhat sideways. And it looks like... do we want... Yeah, I don't even think we... I think we just run this front to back. I think we're going to want new train stations here in all of these places. And then... Yeah, we've got blue science down here, but I don't know what we're doing about... Oh yeah, I wanted to... You know what? We're just going to do this a slightly different way by... If we order all those deletions and then we order bots to put them all back, they will clear all the items on those belts in a way that makes all that work, which is going to be fine. And then if these are the train stations of things that are bringing stuff into the base, we are going to want some rubber ports here for no particular reason. Let's get these guys connected up somehow, and then... yeah, we've kind of... This one here is blue science on the outside, isn't it? So we could have one other train of stuff. This one here specifically wanted to be the Gleben science, because it was the one where... Oh, I was going to redo all of this as well. Yeah, because it struck me that... Okay, are we going to redo all of this, or just some of this? It struck me that if we're pulling the science off this position here, we should also be pulling the spoilage off, so that it has a better chance of... Yeah, so that the things we want are more likely to be moved through. That means that we kind of need to swap these guys around as well, so that this thing powers both. And then this also breaks the underground. So... this needs to move back by 1. This also needs to move back by 1, just so the pattern moves better. We're moving through all these texts that we said were... I guess we've got all the space science things to do as well, won't we? This is adjacent to Fulgora, which we want. We do want Vulcanus. I think is there more physical damage? Where is... Yeah, here's more physical damage. Yeah, just get that. 36,000. Cool, great. So, if we were to redo... Yeah, blasting this entire section with all of the red and green signs, we're going to have to pull this out of storage as well. No big deal. Not concerned about walls being lost. But, if we grab this pattern here, this should... Okay. We're going to grab this pattern again because it doesn't have the weird underground on the way. This should fit everywhere we have a biolab, and then do the preferable thing of... Yeah, rearranging all these inserters, oh well, moving the spoilage extraction to the same position as is pulled into the lab, which is fine. Okay, because we wanted to know if we had all of these... Yeah, that's right, because I was trying to figure out what we were doing with this belt, and I don't think we're doing anything with this belt. I think we're just running a science in here like so, which means that this belt can also go straight, and maybe we run a science. We can have like one science that shares the other side of the blue science belt, or we can drop another science over here, because yellow science is going to need to run all the time, but basically I wanted to know where... actually, not that one. That is one that only has one kind of science. Yeah, where all my belts were going, so that I could connect all of these... did that really badly. So that we can connect all of these trains up, so that we could figure out where the sulfur goes. Yeah, and so the fluids that are here that are not actually connected to anything cool, don't worry about it, can make their way down here. Where is this? What is this line doing? Okay, it's going to be... I wonder how the eggs are doing. They're probably fine. Yeah, nothing went wrong here. This is all completely managed. It's fine. And we're requesting eggs, but we don't even have any eggs in the system, so everything is great, and we manufactured... yeah, I mean, we're going to quality juggle all of these up to better Biolabs eventually, but I think also this means that you guys... actually, rather than doing that, we should have just cancelled the group. We should have just unticked the group. Although, we kind of want one of these to be running, because we're still trying to make all the ProdMod 3s. It's fine, don't worry about it. Yeah, because we're currently congested on... In fact, you know the way to free up a bunch of ProdMod 2s is to upgrade all of these guys to ProdMod 3s, because we have the ProdMod 3s. Also, all the gears should be ProdMod 3s. Gears should definitely be ProdMod 3s. Oh wait, how are we getting... In traditional fashion, we should have eventually set all of the sulfur up in a way that took far too long, but hopefully now we can just upgrade beacons and belts and inserters and boost this even further when we want to. I also wanted this to be... This was going to be where we were making the blue belts and undergrounds as well, wasn't it? We do already need to get more iron over here, so actually the lubricant is going to be a third pipe through here, so let's figure out where that could be, starting from the middle. We also don't have any cracking to speak of down here yet, so we're just kind of filling this up. That's a thing we can bash in at some point, whatever, don't care. Yeah, here is a pipe that can be lubricant that we can... Do I still have... I do not have the corner in the paste buffer. In a way that we can combine with this iron to make some blue belt, maybe. We're waiting for the pipes to arrive. That should get the sulfur going. We actually need to configure things onto trains at the moment, don't we? And maybe that should be the thing that we should do with some preference. Can we also... We can. We can actually pull these gears off and filter them after we've made enough belt and inserters into the other gears plan. I like that. Do I like that? I also haven't beaconed this from both sides. Okay. I'm just going to do that. Allow for that possibility as well. It's going to be fine. Actually, let's pull these guys back a little bit. Okay. Do we have... Why are we no sulfur? Oh, because we connected these things up the wrong way. That is always a way things could have happened. And then if we are still struggling for ProdMod 2s, we're going to solve that by just slamming it into ProdMod 3s. And then all of this is running. All of these guys are running. We should be able to get blue and red and green science into our Biolabs, which is... I think this is an opportunity where we decide we research power armor and advanced armor, because those are things that we are getting into the biolabs. And I think we work on getting other sciences in here by train, and then the question is which trains and where. Because I think we're going to be moving this, right? Like, I think these guys are full. Both of these guys are coming back and are a long way away. Actually, I think we're just going to do a cheeky thing. You just wait there, and you, wherever you are also just going to wait there. And I think, a lot of this stuff were things I had counted out to send up to the platform. So I think I'd do that now. One of the things I was worried about was whether or not we accidentally fill up the military science and then don't really get it running before everything else happens, but it's fine. We have counted out, yeah, I think we want to fill up the rest of this with solar panels if we can. Bots are hopefully bringing me some of those, but yeah, we've counted out some of this stuff. You go to Frederick, you are not ready to go yet, you are also full. You go to Zebershoot, we also haven't dropped the blueprint yet, so we're not super worried about all of that stuff. And then I don't know that there's anything else on these ships that we actually care about sending up in small volumes. Oh, I was going to change all the efficiency modules to efficiency module 2s because we have those now. So is this... yeah, get rid of all of these other module swapping things, and then just swing this. Yeah, take all these efficiency module 1s to efficiency module 2s because we've got those. Did you even have those? You did have those because we sent them, because we were using them to send to Gleba. Okay, so now I don't even care about the efficiency 2 modules. We can just send those up as part of an automatic build, and then you do the same. Maybe you have these modules, maybe you don't. You already do. That's all great. And yeah, other great things that I like quite a lot are we have banged out a much larger amount of tech. Why is that a peak? Because the Biolabs should have been doing a thing. Have the Biolabs... oh yeah, because we haven't actually put this cracking in yet, so we ran out of sulfur. That is an understandable thing, a thing we need to fix. And then I also wanted to just run over, and yeah, we'd paused the labs so that we could... run over here and pick all of this stuff up. My inventory is still too messy for this, isn't it? Yeah, I wanted to kind of move large volumes. Where would we get... I don't think we're putting the train stations in here. Even if we leave the yellow science here, I think we could have another 2 rocket silos here, and then... train station... I think we can only get 1 train station in here. I think we can have... roboports in here, sure, so that we can get this stuff out of the way. If this was a train here, and spoilers, it's going to be a train here, I think we need... yeah, we are going to have... belts in here, and then also... yeah, I think this is going to do... we were eventually going to be able to make this do what it needs to. We're going to need 1 train's worth... yeah, 1... actually, less than that. We're only going to need 1... actually, it's going to be slightly more than that, isn't it? It's still going to be about this... we're going to need half a wagon's worth of storage, so it's only going to be about this much, because we're going to do exactly the same thing on the other side, and we are going to have... actually, what is this guy's name? Oh wait, we need to kind of plug in the rest of this stuff before we can actually send a train here automatically. It's going to be fine. Yeah, you can go here because you're going to connect networks. We're then also going to do big pole things here and here and here, and that should all join until we blast the smelting. Oh well, this is not even what I wanted to be doing today. I wanted to be going to Folgora. Oh well, never mind. And then somehow we want to get the military science out of here And I think we just go... This is breaking the yellow or the red ammunition, and I think we're probably fine with that because I think we are soon to have much better combat systems. And I was trying to figure out how we're going to get this up here, and I think it's just going to go like so. We're just going to make a mess. It's going to be fine. Iron can get through here. Iron can also just continue to do that, so we can have another one of these guys doing this kind of business. Red transport belt? Yeah, sure. And so that we are ending up over here. Totally normal ways to be putting a base together, don't worry about it. Yeah, we lined that up pretty well, didn't we? This is what we always intended when we looked at this kind of nonsense. Yeah, so we're going to have this guy loading... Yeah, and then I wanted to be able to get this... Okay, in order to move the stacker, we kind of need to break... Are there any trains moving? Because we might be able to break a lot of... Why are you waiting here? Oh, because you're waiting... Did we not set you up with... We did not. You actually want a maximum of 2 trains? Why... Yeah, you actually want a maximum of 2 trains, which means that we might have balked. In addition to not having the Kraken, we kind of need to send you guys back to wait at the mines so that we can get these trains out of the way so they can not block everything. That's kind of important. And then we wanted, oh yeah, these trains that we were about to break because we wanted to move this whole thing like a little bit further back over here. Yeah, we're still going to have it here, aren't we? Because it's not going to cover the dudes on the other side. This is still going to need to be... Like, this is for military and yellow science, of which the yellow science is over here and is going to be super easy to treat because we can just run... Okay, so that will actually... I kind of wanted to have a splitter, but then not actually... Yeah, I kind of wanted to take half the yellow science into this build and half the yellow science into the next build, and just reversing everything like this won't... I think what we do is we get rid of the speaking because we don't really need that much. This guy was already kind of weird. Red belt through here. Normal splitter here. And then you go this way, you go this way. We restore this buffer flow kind of thing. This was the correct side because we're also side loading the green science, which is weird. And now this means that half of the yellow science, once we get all of this stuff running, can exit this way, and we can figure out how to get this nonsense on the other side of the train. And here is not going to work because this roboport is in the way, which is super cool, enjoying that a lot. We could get over... if we get rid of this guy and we have a pole here instead, then we can do some horrible spaghetti in this direction. I said this isn't what I want to be doing today, isn't it? But also having the Biolabs online will make me feel a little bit better about stuff. Also, this is... Is this a... I think this is a slightly more long-term plan of how we're getting this through. We would have to go underground here. Yeah, I think this is a slightly more long-term plan of what we're doing with the yellow science than what we're doing with the green science. Like, the green science is going to disappear from its current position as soon as we... Yeah, as soon as we have a way of... As soon as we basically run out of all the text that are the colors that are going into the current labs. It's actually just the steel again, isn't it? And then over here, You did a weird underground thing. Okay, whatever. I think that means we're going to move this. We're going to go underground harder and then copy all of this layout and put it here, but not the silly stuff in the middle. Okay, we need to do that again. Yeah, okay. Whatever. Is this the... I don't think this is the long-term... This can't be the long-term yellow science plan, is it? It's completely gross. But this will allow us to get yellow and military science onto a train, which is pretty exciting. We should be able to, yeah, double all of these things. And now if we had... So we're not... Yeah, so this is also not a good train loading pattern, because we're still going front to back on all of this. I think we... And also this will... I guess we can open this up a bit, because the nature of this is... The boxes that are taking science here will also be the first to unload when we get to the other side, will they? In any case, we've now got a train station. We should have... Yeah, we're not worried about any of those things. We should have a train station here in disguise. Congratulations. Train limit 2. We are going to call you the station that has purple science and yellow science. Why can I continue to not find... not purple and yellow, military and yellow, which is also a bad call. Because if we're moving these things around again, purple and military would be the good things to build together, because they both use steel and a lot of stone, and nothing else uses stone. Yeah, military and yellow science are kinds of science that we can move around without too much difficulty later. They aren't, you know, they're not the Gleben science that we are somewhat worried about going off, but not really worried about going off. Oh, also we paused the... You guys fell back to Gleba. I guess you are stocking up on Bioflux and even more Gleben science now. That's a good reason to... is this the point where... Oh yeah, my inventory is still garbage, isn't it? Yeah, we were going to figure out... So the somewhat cheeky plan is we just have a train that's part reserved for military and part reserved for utility, and then do the same thing with Gleben and space science, I think. And yeah, these trains can just go to... You go here, go... I think we're just going to do a time past. Maybe for... We could think about how many... Actually, maybe that's the thing worth doing. How many... This is going to be 1,000, 4,000, 16,000 science per wagon. So, actually, depending on how fast we're using this, I don't know that we have all that much time, but I think we're going to go to, for the moment, just 120 seconds there. Just go and load a thing. It's going to be kind of awkward. Is this also... That's a Gleben space science one. Yeah, you go there. You've also got the utility and military thing. So, go and do that. Oh yeah, we also didn't add the fueling interrupt. We should probably do that. We're going to worry about that later. And yeah, I was worried about trying to figure out how we could get the Gleben science, like how I would carry it from one place to the other, and just kind of emptying out my inventory and doing all of that. And then realized, you know what, we don't need to do that. We can just pick this up here. Yeah, I think we're going to leave this stuff on the belt, whatever. These things I would like bots to take from me, thanks. And then the rest of the space science, I think, I don't have inventory space for that. Okay, we're going to let bots deal with the rest of that. Maybe we should also just have bots deleting these things. It's not really going to be a problem. I'm just going to run away from those bots. It's going to be fine. They're going to complain about it a little, whatever. We still haven't done the cracking yet. I think the way that I can move all these sciences from one place to the other easily is just put them in the trains that they're eventually going to be in, and then let the trains take care of it. But I think the other thing we're going to do is... I nearly have the space for this. Unfortunate. Okay. In that case, we're going to have another box. We could actually have a box here immediately, couldn't we? because the thing I'm trying to do is figure out... Yeah, that's going to be fine. Now we can pick up all of these things. Pick up these as well. Figure out where we're going to have the loading station. This coal looks like it's going to be here for a while. These we would like to get rid of, but it's not going to happen yet. And so I think that means down over here somewhere, even by the modules, might be... Or where are we going to have... I guess we can have cargo space stretching down here as well. I guess you can go... Okay. Turn on my bots. Cut this. And now we only have one on the surface. And we can paste it over here, and the bots are going to get a thing done about it. The bots probably already have one of those, but the space science plan is just going to be, hey, you know what, we're just going to leave the rest of the space science over here, and for a while these labs are going to have the existing red and green and blue, and also some of the yellow. Actually, we don't want to alpha priority this at all. We want both of those to be able to get to places. And so also some of the military from what's in... We can unload this military buffer as well, which means that we can be running... Did we actually... Yeah, we didn't get it yet. Both sets of labs in a way that I think is pretty fancy. And then we just have to worry about down here having... So you've now got the science request. Should we have... How far away are the biolabs, and should we have just put... I mean, this seems like a terrible idea, but I think the way we are going to experiment with this is what happens if we just... Like, I think this should be closer to the launch silo, but what if it's not? What if instead of some of these train networks, maybe we still have a train for the purple and for the purple and or yellow and or military, but what if we then just got rid of these other train networks? Wait, this top one still definitely wanted to be Glebe Science, because it's the one that we are trying to pull spoilage from. So what if instead of that we just had, like right here, our storage hub? Let's have it here. Let's also get these guys. Oh, they're going to be mode locked if we send them all now, which is going to be a little bit of a shame. Do you also have spoilage that is spoiling? Maybe, maybe not. But this means that we can have the stack inserters right here for... remind me which direction things... Which side you put your stuff on. If we gave you... why? Oh, because you need to go this way. You are putting things on that side, so if we had you here, then we could have two inserters here, two inserters here. We also definitely need to give these guys filters for Gleben Science. These two for Gleben Science, although it doesn't actually let's do those the other way around. These two for Gleben Science, these two for Space Science. And now these are the belts that we can run to here. This is yeah, I don't like that. At least not in that position. We're going to run it, say, here. And this means that, okay, we are still going to need one of these train stations to do the Gleben Science, because we put the Gleben Science on it. So as yet another temporary measure, this station is going to be the station that is asking for Gleben Science. Gleben Science. And then... Yep, cool, great, whatever. Yeah, we can have these guys getting power in here, like something like this, whatever. Actually, if we have... Yeah, then we can have another thing here with these guys. Yeah, I like the way this much of this is coming together. If we have... Can we power up all these slightly more responsibly? Yes, okay, so now we can have a bunch of different stuff coming out of the sky. This... I guess that the storage is going in this direction? Whatever. Do we have... Oh yeah, we must have storage bays. We must already have storage bays in the building network. We're not complaining about having or needing all of those. So, I think this is a... Yeah, we need to get... The thing we actually need to do is we need to get the stackers in here for those trains. He said, struggling with a scroll wheel. Plugging in a bunch of this rail stuff, getting the cracking done as well. I'm getting kind of annoyed by having to move these two train stations because this little bit of cliff here was in the way of where the stackers wanted to go. Could have like made all the stackers sideways, that would have been silly. And yeah, not really enjoying the whole double science per train plan, and then realizing when I saw all of the white and space, yeah, the space and agricultural science on this belt, that's not even the plan of what I wanted to be doing. The plan I wanted to be doing was like the red and green and blue, and then agricultural and space here are the things we should be researching now. We don't want to be pushing yellow science or purple science or military science through the other labs at all, and we want to find something that's just agricultural. Tool belt would be agricultural, and so this is the thing, we're only going to run through the biolabs. We're going to use up the other agricultural packs in the other labs as well, but there's not many. Space science other than agricultural, other than, yeah, the red, green, blue, which now has all its sulfurness, so doing a thing. Those are like the only four we have in like a large surplus of that I'm happy for the other labs to run. But then also, is this the... Yeah, this is the thing I want to take, isn't it? Can I get it without the roboport? Is there another one? There's another one over here that doesn't have the roboport on it. Yeah. The, we just want to be... I guess down here? We can have this little interchange getting in there and it's going to be fine. Yeah, we want to be running the biolabs as much as we can for the things, for basically for all the kinds of science. That's going to do nice things, isn't it? For all the kinds of science that aren't just the red, green, blue, I think we can figure out how to get a large amount of the space science back to... Yeah, I was just checking, none of these guys are anywhere near, but yeah, if we could have a large amount of the space science back to the other labs, because we've got a lot of space science. I think this plan is going to be really bad for both the bioflux and the empty barrels, because we've now just given them, you know, here's the drop station, the mall is all the way down here, the water filling is over here, which is at least kind of close to the silos. That's all going to be pretty bad, but actually I wanted to get, yeah, so we've got 3 of these belts. We did have a 4th one here coming out of the thing, except we kind of don't have the space for it, and I also don't think we need the space for it. And I was trying to figure out what the stations down here do, and I think we just have one of these be... that's not what I wanted. What even button did I press? Good job. Actually, let's get the other thing done first. Yeah, this is the station where we want the... Oh, I've done the thing again where I've pressed... I have not been in the text field and selected the thing from the hotbar. Yeah, we want these 2 stations to be 1 train each, because we have the 2 trains that we kind of cobbled the agricultural science onto, which is still going off. We would like to use this. Yeah, could you please go to the train station off which we have... This is... Why are you not... Did we... I guess you haven't done the intersection yet, have you? Oh, well, go and do that. Yeah, both of you guys go to those train stations, and because we have... did I see a thing was running out of fuel there as well? Oh no, I saw this one running out of fuel. I thought this white locomotive was running out of fuel. It was not. This locomotive was running out of fuel. That is fine. Okay, let's also be defining some more trains. because if we're going to go to single science trains, and I'm aware that the military and yellow are kind of messing that up at the moment, but we are going to need more trains to do single science things. Those trains should end up right next to where I'm standing, and the thing is we kind of want to get the stuff that's on those trains with priority over what's coming out of with priority over what's already over here, because it's already fresher. And so yeah, so we're just going to drain all of this. I mean, hopefully we can use all of it in, I mean, an hour's going to be fine, isn't it? Yeah, we're going to get all that, it's going to be fine. And then I think, so we've got, yeah, I think if we eventually repurpose one of these train stations to be either purple or military or yellow, I don't care, and we just drop it on this belt, where do you can go to there, and we can line these up with these other things, and so that's going to be the third kind of science. Looks like red and green science are not going at the rate that we wanted them to, so this is also pretty easy to solve with the beacon configurations we have. Does that also mean that blue science is not going fast enough? Doesn't matter, we're going to upgrade it anyway. And then, oh yeah, that was the other thing I realized, wasn't it? So I was thinking about these being, we should probably decide on, yeah, I think we're going to put yellow here, so you get to be, oh yeah, that was the button I clicked last time, of, you know, whatever. This is the science, this is the station where we're going to put yellow science, and it all needs to go on a train. Yep, great. And then this one is going to be the one where we put military science. Yeah, we were not particularly great with the names there. I'm being judgmental about names. And then, oh wait, was this going to be, I think we're actually going to put purple science here, so we can have one belt of purple and yellow, and then, yes, true trains limits. We don't have these trains going there yet, but it's fine. And then we should have, why aren't we running these guys harder? I thought this was, are we running these guys harder? No, because we don't have agricultural science. Why don't we have agricultural science? We are, maybe we're just working on lab saturation at the moment, because we are pushing all of that through at the rate. So that problem we are going to call solved. That's all fine. I mean, actually I could, if we've got, I was going to hand feed some of the agricultural science from the train, but it also doesn't matter because it's just, yeah. So we want to drain, you guys don't have anywhere else you're going, do you? No, you're just going to sit here, you're going to empty those, you've got enough fuel for when we go and figure out how to do something else. And then we're going to be able to have one of these trains drop its, yeah, this was going to be the military, oh, let's not forget the car. It's going to be the military science train, but isn't yet. And then I also realized, yeah, I wanted to do this trick again over here with these science trains to make sure that we were, yeah, always to make sure that this belt continued to be able to get its stuff done. Could we, I think we could actually just run this straight under here, like so, because the entire point of this is we've got half a belt of science per train. But then noticed, hey, why are we not getting, first of all, why are these two wagons full? Why are we only on half a belt of iron through this build? And the reason is, we never actually finished building the rest of the unloading stations for the iron. So maybe we should do that. Let's grab all of this, let's put it here. That actually was not enough, and then we also need to grab, including the power pole, all of this interface to here, yeah? And then it's going to be kind of annoying to line up, but it will, yeah, that's going to be doing what we want. We now should be able to pull full iron belts out of this, although if we're not lane balancing the use in here, the lane, I mean, okay, so all wagons can get on both sides of the belt, so it doesn't actually matter. It just kind of matters when it comes down to which of these boxes still has stuff in it, but also doesn't matter because these wagons will be able to put stuff on either side. Okay, so we are kicking through tool belt, and then what else do we have that is agricultural science, but not the kinds of science, like epic quality would be fantastic. We do have a pile of yellow science, but it's not in these labs. Plastic productivity, also fantastic. I think it's going to be efficiency module, because also then we're still working on plugging these other things in, and then we're going to have a belt here that we can't run underneath here. Can we? I mean, because the default is going to be just run it around the outside of this thing, unless we've got a better option. And I think immediately the better option is we're going to run the science around this way. This is fine. Run the science through. So this is a double science belt. And the other thing I want to avoid in this base very much is any belt braiding, because at the moment we have no belt braiding, which means we can just sweep an upgrade planner. Even over here, no belt braiding, so we can just sweep an upgrade planner over all of this and get it to blue belt when we need it to be. And then this guy here, is this? Yeah, I think we can actually just go, I think we're going to go with that, because it's a terrible idea, and it's exactly the sort of terrible idea I like. We're just going to have, okay, we're not going to do that, that's silly. We're going to have a splitter here, and we're going to run the purple and yellow science in the like. So also this allows us to see whether or not we are likely to be inserter limited by seeing whether or not these things are running the whole time. And we are currently running a tech that doesn't use all that many packs, but is also, that's not what I wanted to look at, is a 30-second tech. And I'm mostly thinking about this for 60-second techs. So I think we are probably, I mean, maybe is still the question. We might have to upgrade the quality of these inserters. But also now we should find that these labs are fully dry, yeah? And we also have not wasted, like, we still have not spoiled any agricultural science and all of these things because we're running the toolbar. And we are also, at this point, I was expecting to see that number higher. Because, yeah, I was expecting that to be around the... Are we still rolling all of these guys in? Everyone has... You are still not getting agricultural science. Did we mess up the agricultural science somehow? This looks a lot like we are not getting agricultural science all the way through the build. Okay, we are. Maybe these guys are running? Ah, because it's a 30-second tech, we're only running the labs at the back end of it. At the full rate. Okay, all of that is acceptable. And it also did strike me that if we need to pull back on a couple of labs back here, that actually gives us more space over here. If we're just trying to grab, you know, some of this and bang it in here, we don't hit these cliffs as much. If we're not going so deep into the biolabs over there. Okay, let's try and get purple and yellow trains in here, I guess. Also this means, yeah, we're going to want this unpacking pattern, which is still... is that true? We're going to want this much of this unpacking pattern. Something like this, but we've also got... Yeah, already this train... Oh, and it's got boxes by it as well, doesn't it? Yeah. Mildly unfortunate. I think we're going to have to go and repackage this train differently, because I was going to call this train out and have... In fact, I think if we're going to go... I think this space, I think that's a space where we could have... Where is a... Here is a multiple train loading pattern that we can grab. The input belts are going to have to go somewhere different. Oh, it also doesn't have... We can add the stacker later, I guess. But this thing here... if we are thinking about putting both purple and military science on a train, will fit here. And then, yeah, give us some different station names, please. We're still, I mean, this is not getting us to Fulgora today, is it? Maybe you do go through there, and then maybe we have another one of these that just goes here. I think that's going to do what it needs to. These guys are going to need to get out of the way. Possibly a lot out of the way, depending on where the stacker fits. Let's find out where the stacker fits. This also, we can't go all the way to the curve, and also it doesn't look like we need to. It looks like this is going to be enough. If we put it here or there, I think that's going to work. I think we get rid of these signals. Okay, we kind of need this guy to be built. I'm not sure. Oh no, this curved rail aligned with where that intersection fitted. Yeah, that's going to end up doing fine, but also then I think these guys are going to need to... Yeah, I think we've got... I think actually what we need to do is get rid of both of these guys and put this on the other side. And now is the option where we can, yeah, revisit how close these were to this train station. So now we can divert all of the purple science into, and in fact I think we can even go, no, I think we, yeah, I don't think we worry about that stuff. I think we have some request chests to pull everything else, like to pull every other kind of science back out of the storage it's going into. And we can do that into the Biolabs, which the bots will hate, because we're continuing to not be very nice to bots, never mind. This train here is the, yeah, enable limit 2. This is the station that has purple science. I was about to triumphantly declare that we were putting purple science on a train. We are not yet putting purple science on a train, but we are thinking about loading it into a station at a rate of, yeah, this should now debuffer this whole thing into this section here. Can we also, yeah, just block you up for a moment, have a splitter here that goes right, and runs this around here, which should also, yeah, this is going to do a better job of unpacking this buffer into the train buffer in a better way. Did I ever upgrade the military science productivity modules? We did. We got those to the better prod mods. Okay, and then these guys are going to have a similar direction that they're trying to go, right? And then it's going to be like here, of all places, because the other thing we don't want the military science to do is stop. One of the things that I'm enjoying about... do we need this coal? Do we need... Oh, this... Yeah, this whole thing can eventually disappear. Yeah, one of the things I'm enjoying more about the science on trains plan... that was actually in the wrong place, wasn't it? It would go better if it was through here. Yeah, whatever. One of the things I'm enjoying about the science on trains plan is that it's an extra place where we can be buffering a pile more science in a way that is really good when, like, military science doesn't have to run the whole time, because there's only a portion of we're gonna have to do this stuff again. We're going to have to, yeah, we're gonna have to reconnect. Yeah, all of the sciences, even purple and yellow, at this point, there's kind of a... we only need them about half the time, so we can spend all the time making all the science as long as we have a buffer, and then the trains are also just contributing to that buffer. And so I think because of that, I think we ramp up these boxes, which is going to store more than one train's... Oh, how did we not? Yeah, we didn't quite get all of them. Which is going to store more than one train's worth of stuff, which is fine, because the model we're thinking about is we're going to have trains with the science on, but then we're also going to be running other techs for a long while and filling up these trains while these builds continue to run. I think that is going to be what we want to do. Okay, where are some... Did we... Okay, let's make sure that we're not wandering too far away from this. This is doing what we want. We're going to empty out this train. Wait, is this train done? That is this train done. In that case... This train station here, this train we're going to set back to manual. This guy is going to go train limit 2 because that's what we're doing with it now. And this is going to be a purple science train? Put that back. Give me a new name. Congratulations, Yamo. That's a nice name. We are going to have purple science when we find it. Yeah, this is... still not closing text bars. Yeah, this is... did we set this to... Cool. So we need the signals over here, not the signals over here. This one is fine. Also, if this is... We are not yet sideloading in the other place, but... we are now just connecting that to the lab. And then when we get... Because these guys are already connected and signaled and stacked and everything. Oh, that's what I was going to do. I'm remembering my plan for... unpacking that. Did I need to come all the way down here for this? I definitely did not need to come all the way down here for this. Yeah, if we have this guy being filtered for yellow science, I am also working through unpicking the temporary hacks of setting up the... Yeah, setting up the nasty... I'm just going to do it this way around because it all sideloads, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Setting up the temporary hacks of putting both military and yellow on the same train, which was never actually a great idea, but we should be able to say this is... Oh, we also sent this to the purple. Cool. Okay. You are now going to be known as the military station. I wanted military and yellow on different belts, but it also kind of doesn't matter because red and green are already on the same belt, and the idea of swapping those things around is fine. Wait, why are we... We are only running this at half the rate of science that we have now added. Are these belts still running? These belts are not running, in which case I think we are going to go grab 5 Biolabs wide, because that also allows us to line this thing up here. We're not gonna add that beacon. That beacon is silly and does not get to be there. But we are just gonna smash in some more Biolabs. That, you know, we're experimenting. We're seeing how things work. We did... Oh, is this... This is a 60-second tech. This, I mean, I guess we could have also upgraded the modules in the middle. That's also definitely an option. Okay, oh well. This train station here, the military science train station, is now set up to unpack... okay. This one should definitely be around the other way, because when we delete these inserters, this guy is going to take over as the... Yeah, okay, so now we can get... where is it? This train down here, which is going to continue to be the military science, or the yellow science train. In disguise is going to continue to do helpful things for now. It's also having 1 science per train is going to make this a whole lot easier to deal with later. But yeah, it also will mean... Was Luke the... We put this icon on the wrong side and lost track of what we were supposed to be doing. You go over here. Okay. Now we should be able to get... We did have... Yeah, we did have 2 trains, didn't we? Things that are silly. Yeah, if we're only doing one kind of science, we can also do a full to empty thing, which will be a whole lot better. I think we're also just going to do a time passed... Some weird thing, don't worry about it. We're going to be redoing this with full empty later, but I guess we still do give it the refueling interrupt. And then here I would like to not actually have that much science anywhere. Thanks. Why are we still getting military science through here? Should we not? Oh, we're still getting... No, that's going to the labs. Oh, because we redirected all of this military science. Okay, we can also, at the same time, restore the red ammo production, which is going to be nice. Yeah, we've still got some military science in the old labs. The blue science probably no longer, in fact, definitely no longer wants to buffer at all. What a giant mess. This is getting moved to trains that currently don't have their signals or their splitters. Do we have enough space? We definitely have enough space, which is nice. Okay, let's signal this with... Don't I have... Yeah, we do. You can... Yeah, go... Actually, you can rotate here and go like so. That is going to be the way the stacker works. You're allowed into the station, you're also allowed out, but then on the other end, and then we need to figure out how long these stackers tend to be for the size of train that we've got. Here. Yeah, that already looks like it's going to be long enough, which means we don't need these bits, we don't need this bit quite here. And then these guys are... I mean, we're going to do elevated rail things, right? That's going to be what happens. Grab this, also put it here, and then you guys are... Always, the top one is, yeah, the top one is the input of the stack. You guys are always allowed in, yes, and then must ask permission to share the track and get back out. And we should find when we do that, if we could get these signals, and oh, we can already see the signal. Do we have space for 8 wagons? We have space for 8 wagons. That is a successful stacker that will do the things that it needs to. Then we need to figure out how to get the elevated rail. And the thing is, could we... This is... Yeah, we can use... This direction here is going to be the train getting into the wrong kind of science. Cool. Okay, give me some of this. You have some as well. Mostly this is just about emptying these trains so we can not have quite so... Did we give this schedule to this guy as well? And then we would rather be able to empty out these trains, but yeah, we've still got a bunch of... Cool. Oh well, on the upside we can at least start to get rid of some of the military science plan. We only did this episode. Good job not remembering what the plan was. Oh well, okay. So we wanted to figure out how to get the military sciences going over here. And yeah, this one is the military science train. Wait, are you guys... Oh no, you guys are just running. I mistook a static belt for a fully flowing belt. Okay, well done, Bert. You get to be... I mean, I guess this does feel bad for revisiting a bunch of things and doing things badly and then coming back to them, but we are at least building things that are long-term and more stable, because now we can move either of these kinds of sites and we just have a different train to reallocate, and we're also draining these buffers, which is, or at least into a, you know, more respectable build, which is great. And I was still trying to figure out, and I think we can, give me this. Okay, maybe not there. Give me this. Maybe not there. Maybe right on top of this one. Yeah, give me this. And let's blast through here. Yeah. Everyone likes that. What are you guys doing here? I guess that was old science that we no longer needed. Okay, so what is the minimum turn distance here? And do we have the space for one of these guys? And if we have it right next to... If we have it right next to this interface, I mean, should we make this two-directional? Probably. I mean, I think we're planning on these trains not having to go anywhere very often. I like that so much. So we are going to now have a train that goes from... So the purple... Wait, is the purple science just integrated now? It is, because, okay, we're standing down here by this train and not actually using the military science, and so it's not actually getting out of the train, which is a little bit of a shame. Maybe I can do a nasty thing. Yeah, give me all of this? And then, yeah, the train is kind of in the way. We can't kind of... unless we went here. No, I'm still not finding places where... Yeah, because I wanted to kind of get these trains out of the way and also have... You know what? Here are the long-term labs. We're researching efficiency modules. We're still not... We're actually not flowing the science as much as we could have been. We're also out of boxes again, which is disappointing but acceptable. Do we... No, we're not going to begin anything harder. No, we're not going to worry about it. I just wanted to get this stuff out of my inventory in a way that probably does not matter. Whatever. Let's get the purple science trains in here, because this guy is now the purple science train. This train is going to go... add station... Yeah, wait, were you... You've also got your icon around the wrong way. You need to be there. So that I am not confused when I am trying to set up the full to empty. Yeah, we looked at the wrong thing again. No. Click on the correct things. Game will go better if you click on the correct things. Okay. Full to empty. This is the other advantage of being able to do single... Yeah, of being able to do single science trains, is that we can just go to full to empty and all of that's going to be fine. Do we want... I think we only want one side of these things. And then I think we also want to do... Yeah, we're still not... We should be hitting... We're still only hitting these guys... We're only using half the science at the rate we thought we could. And all the biolabs are running now? I mean, I got a solution for that as well. The solution for that is, hey, here's a speed module 2. We're going to rebeacon all of this stuff, and then we rebeacon all of... Yeah, it was this long line here with the guy sticking out the end, wasn't it? We're just going to speed module this harder. There are no downsides. This section here is slightly narrower. And yeah, we're just going to throw a bunch of new speed modules in here. These logistic boxes don't actually matter until we spoil anything, and we are still hoping that we can... Oh wait, have we... We've used up all the science here. We are down to the bioflux that has a huge amount of time on it and isn't going to spoil, which is great, because it means the other thing I was thinking about is, yeah, let's figure out how to get to Vulcanus. Let's figure out how to get to Omnia. Let's figure out how to get to Terrapolis. Let's figure out how to get to Ceres. The thing about all of these is that's the science. We can use both sets of labs to do that. That was the original plan of why do we have duplicated science builds in both places. How are we going to manage that? I wanted to have... Yeah, so you guys are going to be... Can you just both go to... oh, did we set that to train limit 1? This guy should be train limit 2. This guy should be train limit 2. We have 2 trains assigned. We have no military trains assigned. Were you just complaining about... Are you waiting to get a path? Oh wait, how did... I can see that being a problem, yes. So where did that other train go? And how did they get in here? Whatever, moving on. I'm not going to care about that. Okay, other things we would like include... where is the train depot? Here's the train depot. We would like trains that are going to go from the... Yeah, from the yellow science... I was going to do the military science one first, but I guess we're doing the yellow science. I guess there's the... Yeah. the empty. Add the refueling interrupt. Yeah, the ones that are like the yellow science and military science will, the yellow science and purple science are kind of more important for the text that we are sharing with, if we can find, yeah, there's a, is there, I mean, there's kind of some military stuff. There's explosive and rocket damage in here somewhere, yeah, refined flammables that we're not at yet, but all the things that, actually, we can get into asteroid productivity now as well. That's a big call. That's a thing that's going to make a lot of stuff better. I was going to look at where these planets are. Are we... oh, the train went... The train reversed out here and then came back? I don't know. You go... Yeah, you go here. You're both now complaining about not being able... Oh, wait, you in particular... Okay, yeah, we need to fix that guy, because it is on a piece of track the wrong way. So you're going to go to manual, we're going to sneak down here and leave you there, and then tell you to go to the pickup station, and you are now on a piece of double-way track, which as soon as this gets in, you should... Oh wait, because we only connected here... only connects to... Yeah, this is actually one way going. This is an output lane only, which means we also, I mean, we can also handle this. We're just going to go from, say, here and go over here. Which of these... None of these have particularly disagreeable... Where are you going to let me connect? Yeah, none of these guys have particularly disagreeable pylon setups, so now we are, I mean, all the way around here. There's going to be a loop in the track somewhere that makes that work. My concern, because a lot of trains seem to use it, is that this loop around the LDS is kind of the only real loop we've got. And so a lot of trains try to path down there in ways that are silly. Oh well, moving on. Yeah, okay, so those two trains are done. Did we get the military science? Did we have military science? No, because that was also the thing we were just setting up. We might actually have 3 trains associated with the stop. Is this the one? So the 2 that are... Why are you... Who... Oh yeah, because you came back. Okay, so... I think the thing we do at this point, and I'm wandering down here because I have the inventory, if we can sort out some of the trains, like what if you were to give me all the yellow science, take back the military science, give me the yellow science, and then you could be a train that could go between... Oh wait, you're no longer going to be... I guess the other one is still going to be on a schedule or something. If we can get you between... not full fuel, we want full cargo. If we can get you between the 2 military science stations, this and empty, and then get rid of these 2. And I actually wanted to... nope, I did not get to click on the thing. I think we got all the yellow science out of that. Does this also... I think we can just... how much did we have in that box? 1 row? 1 row? That might be different when we are adding more stuff, but whatever. And so now we are probably using both sets of labs, yeah? Because we're doing the Biolab stuff down here. We are blasting stuff out at 2.6k, which feels pretty great. There's a small chance that feed at exactly the wrong time would have blocked some of these inserters, but that's probably fine. This is... Yeah, where is... So we've got the 2 purple science trains that are doing... because we never actually reset the wagons, which is fine? Oh, you can't unset... wait, there must be another train around here somewhere. Yeah, like you. Give me your configuration. That is the configuration we would like for all of these wagons. punch out all the purple science, fill trains with it, have a lot of these chests also largely full when we get around to it, and then, yeah, could we actually, can you get over here? Because I would like to first of all test the connections, and you are waiting in your stacker in the correct way, which is great. You also have, yeah, we would like this wagon configuration so that we can fill these trains with stuff. We have the full to empty, we have yeah, we have the full to empty, and we have the refueling trigger. So can we, you've got 2 trains that are both waiting in the yellow science. You've got 1 train, so we're going to need, I'm pretty sure we still have, yes, but let's also check that we haven't faffed around with these wagons. Okay, I think we're actually going to need 3 wagons, yeah, 3 trains of, yeah, 3 trains on each science station, because we want there to be 1 filling and possibly also 1 unloading and 1 traveling at each time. And as long as we have, so all of these have, there are 4 places where these trains can be. There's 2 stations on this side, 2 stations on the lab side, and so 3 trains should never get in each other's way and block everything. It should be fine. Oh look, it's doing what it should. The rear ones are loading from the chests, and the front ones are loading from the belt, and this train is going to get full, and then everything is doing exactly as it should. Amazing. Okay, does that mean... Oh yeah, I was going to look at where these planets were, because I think we're going to Fulgora next, and then Scherben. Sorry, Austrians. So Vulcanus, we know where Vulcanus is. Terra Plus is a moon of Gleba. Ceres is a moon of Fulgora. Omnia is the kind of weird one out over here. I don't know that we necessarily have plans to go to those, but the plans we do have are, yeah, go to Fulgora, be able to recycle, bash through the science at 2.6 thousand SPM. Do we have... because we're also running down this store of space science, which is totally the plan. Do we... I think we probably leave this episode there. Maybe we do some Fulgora prep. Actually, the thing I need to do is the rest of these ship builds. I need to get that done between episodes. They have nearly everything they want, but probably not quite everything. Yeah, I think there's some other speed modules that I need to count out more carefully before we bang in a blueprint. And also, oh yeah, I think we just downgrade all the guns, because I don't think... like, the original goal of these high-quality guns was to be able to shoot the asteroids further away so that we had more time to not worry about it, whereas the sniper turrets are just doing a great job of that. So I think we can downgrade all of these gun turrets, and I think that's probably the only thing we need to send up. Everything else can go up just in bulk. They have heat pipe, tanks are things we can send up in bulk, maybe a couple more solar panels. Let's check that Gleba isn't broken. Gleba is not broken. Let's check that Rubia isn't broken. Rubia is not broken. We're still just putting science. Yeah, because we only ever want to be... in fact, let's grab one of these things. And for the last thing we're going to do today is find some of these stack inserters. Looks like you. Congratulations. We have... actually, I need to test that. I need to test that stuff comes out on the right side, because I'm pretty sure it might, because we rotated it, but it also might not. Here's a pipe where we were going to put lubricant that we never actually got around to putting lubricant. Oh well. Yeah, what happens if we give you some rail? Where do you put it? You put it on the correct side. Good job. Successful experiment. Successful episode. I guess we're not on Fulgora, but we do have the Biolabs running. We've got them quite heavily beaconed. We're getting our productivity out. All of the space, yeah, all of the agricultural science, all of the purple science. Oh, can we actually now? Can we smash this guy in? Can we get our asteroid productivity? Because that would be exciting. Yeah, because we are now getting... Oh, I guess we're not using the Lava Labs, we don't do that, but we've now got all of our sciences by train, allegedly, in a manner I will check between episodes. We didn't get what we wanted done, but we did succeed in what we attempted.